Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Latiba. I'm the owner of Queen's Decor, your party one-stop shop, where your party rental shop, balloon shop, and intimate event space located in Bristol, PA. Baby, let's get into this video. First, I want to say thank you for the most amazing client that Queen's Decor have ever had. This client was so patient. Yes, she was nervous, but she was so patient with us through the tea we about to spill. So let's get into it. This event was booked in last December. So the client reached out and she wanted a gold and black theme. And we discussed adding some red to it, give her some recommendations, but eventually we end up going with just the red roses, which ended up turning out to be so glam. Has decorated, sometimes we gotta admit when we're wrong, because I'm not gonna lie. The design that I was going for, I recommended that we just add some red napkins, has the pop of color. But once she mentioned the roses, I was like, bet, let's go for it. Was I 100% certain? Absolutely not. But that's the part of trusting the process. Again, this client was somebody that was very visual. She wanted to see exactly what we was going to do. And sometimes as decorators, it can be a little difficult for us to provide a service like that. Given that eventually 2024, I took out all my cups out of my consultations, because I honestly believe that if you're coming to me to do an event, you should trust me 100% that I can get the job done. If I have to take the time and take 2 hours to do a digital visual mock-up to send you outside of inspiration pictures, then the trust already isn't there. But this client was super amazing. We was able to find pictures to give her the visual that she needed, and we was able to get the job done. What we're doing right now is assembling our balloons. We're doing them neck to neck method, meaning I'm taking the neck of the balloons, tying it to another neck to be able to get my clusters. And then in order to combine the two up to the structure, we're doing the 260 method. This is why I always tell you guys, it's always great to have multiple method of attachments under your belt. So there you go. Now, if you think that decorating you're not going to make mistakes, baby, you are so wrong. So wrong. Because art is trying to find out what works best. And you will see this design actually switched a little bit in my color placement, but it's just part of the game. Because if it's not, what we doing, right? That was part of everything that was going on. So you're just going to be watching me put together the balloons neck to neck, adding some large clusters. And so next, the other tea behind this event is when my girl booked, she booked a number 31 celebration. If you're in the event planning world, not a lot of people book off the chart milestones. And by that, I mean milestones are considered 1, 5, 10, 15, 16, 21, 30, 35. Those are milestones. But when my girl booked, she booked a 31 birthday party for her husband because he had never had one before and he had a twin sister. So don't ask me why the entire time I had confirmed in my head that this was the 30th birthday party and you couldn't change my mind. I swear it was a 30th birthday party. And the entire design you're going to see 30 because that's what I brought on site. 30 was the number I customized in the marquee because our marquee numbers, which is also known as the light up number, they come in white with my company. The standard rental color, if you don't want to pay any extra fees, is white. So we had to customize this color to black days before the event. So when we show up on site, the guests started, not the guests, but the family members started to arrive to bring in the food. They was like, yo, everything is dope, but who's turning 30? Are they going back in time? I'm like, what you talking about? She's like, it's their 31st birthday. I was like, oh, hell no. So, me being me, we never gonna leave a customer unsatisfied, and we never, especially a customer that is easy to work with, because some people you just can't satisfy them, and that's the truth of the matter. But I was not gonna let this girl down, especially knowing how much her nerve was already kicking, right? So then, what we had to do is, yes, you're about to hear me right. This event was in King of Pressure. just to give you location preference. And I'm in Bristol, PA. Location preference. So what that means is that she was 45 minutes away from my showroom. Baby, when I tell you the moment that girl mentioned it, I called the client confirmed. I hop right back in my car. By then it was 5:45. The event didn't start until 6:15. But by the time we found all of this out, no, it was about 5:30. So I hopped back in my car immediately. I told her, I called her, I said, hey, I made a mistake. Because admitting that you made a mistake never hurt nobody. I told her, I said, hey, I made a mistake. And I actually brought in the number 30. So she was like, what we're going to do. Immediately she started freaking out. She was like, what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. I was like, don't worry about it. We're going to make it right. She said, guess not even really going to start coming until 6:45. I'm like, okay, no problem. I hopped right back in my car, drove to my showroom 45 minutes away, got to the shop, and remembered that all my numbers come in white. I was like, nothing here is white. Would you want me to bring the white number? She was like, at this point, I'd rather have the right number in a different color than to have the wrong number for the party. Me being me, I'm going to go above and beyond for my clients every time, every single time. So when I got to the shop, we had the black paint, everything out. I was like, okay, if I can paint the whole thing, I can at least paint the front of it. So that way, if they see it from the side, it's not a big deal. And I came out with a whole strategy. I'm like, I'm just going to paint. I ended up painting the whole entire letter. I laid down in my car on a plastic, pulled down all the windows in the car so it can dry on my way there. Now that it was a 45-minute drive, so I figured before I get there, it will be dry. I was wrong. But before I got there, it wasn't dry. So I just made sure I put something on the floor that was a little invisible. And yeah, we give her 31 because 31 was what she paid for. We definitely give her 31. So this is what I was talking about the design. You can see that I took the gold from the bottom and placed it on the top just because going back at the inspiration photo, once again, my client was a bit particular. So going back on the inspiration photo, I was like, okay, I want more black clusters at the bottom. I just want to make it fuller. So you're going to see later on, I'm going to do exactly that. But that was the tea that happened. And it turns out that after we did all of that, we went back, we got this, we did that. This client ended up being my highest tip paying client of the year because she didn't have to. She really didn't have to. I told her not to worry about it. She was like, please send me the invoice for you going back extra to come and I'm going to pay you. Now, I ain't going to cap. Week one, after sending I think it was $270 something. Week one, I didn't see no payment. Week two, I didn't see no payment. I was about to delete the invoice, to be honest, because I really, when I'm done with a job, I'm really done with the job. I really just archive the job out of my system and send my clients a review so they can be able to review us. And that's how we got all of those amazing Google reviews online. Because after every rental, every balloon order, even if you're getting one helium balloon, by the time you leave, the very next day we'll send you a text message that said, hey, please review us online. So this was the event. I'm just shifting my sequence wheel a little bit on the side for us to be able to add the finer touches. Yeah, I called it a corn stock. But it's actually the rope method, adding some rope method to it, shifting up things where it need to be shifted. I definitely didn't like the fact that the other side was just empty and you can see the black part of it. So I went ahead and I added extra balloon clusters right there as well. One thing I did with this event that I definitely didn't like, and like I said, nobody criticized the art harder than the artist. The fact that silver pole was showing at the top, that silver pole right there, that little tiny one that you see, it irritated the mess out of my soul. But I also definitely didn't want to connect this whole balloon decor. And you can see the number 30. You'll see me putting it together. Mistakes happen, but it's how you rectify your mistake with a client that really, really matters.